Number 5. So at number 5 is the Vegas, or Vegas, as I like to call it. And yes, indeed, it is actually a 125. This is perhaps the best looking 125 cruiser I have ever seen. Now apparently the Vegas is designed in the USA, but I did a little research of my own and noticed that it was distributed by Lexmo Limited, and they are the company that distributes Lex Motor motorcycles. So I'm guessing it is built in China. Now as you can see from the specs, this bike comes in at £2,400, which is a little bit pricey considering it's a brand I've never heard of, so they are chancing it a little bit there. It's a single cylinder 125cc, gives around about 12 brake horsepower, and I can see this bike being good for the shorter rider as the seat height is 750mm, so that shouldn't be a problem to get your feet down at all. Now the top speed of this bike is 70 miles per hour. I will be very interested to see if it actually does break that speed barrier, but I very much doubt it. Number 4. At number 4 is the Benelli TNT125. Now yes, I do own the Benelli TNT125, so I guess it would be very easy for me to say that this is a good bike, but that is for good reason, and that is because I have ridden quite a few 125s, and in my time of owning the Benelli TNT125, I have had so much fun on it. And it's been a very easy bike to ride, a very cheap bike to ride in terms of maintenance, and also just buying the bike. In terms of buying parts such as body panels, it's very cheap, as well as the quality of the parts, they're very good as well. This is why I am saying that this is in the number 4 spot, because it's just a fantastic little bike and it really does deserve to be in the top 5. Now this bike costs just a little bit over £2,000. It's just over 11 brake horsepower, and also it has a twin spark, which is supposedly supposed to be more fuel efficient, and that was after fine tuning the speedo to get the real GPS speed from this bike was around about 63 miles per hour. But I did change the sprocket to a 15 teeth sprocket, so that is why I got a slightly lower top speed on it. If I was to have the original sprocket on there, then it would probably reach around about 67 miles per hour. But before I did fine tune the speedometer, I was getting around about 73 miles per hour. But if you do want to know more about the Benelli TNT125, just look on my channel because I've got plenty videos about it. Number 3. And number 3 is the Lexmo Venom. Now if you're looking for something in the very budget range that is a very good bike, then the Lexmo Venom is the bike for you. Now the reason why I haven't chosen bikes for under 1,500 is because those bikes, well, there's a reason that they haven't sold, and that is because they are old stock and they are not very reliable at all. And I won't try and tell you that these bikes are good, because they are not, and they are not worth buying. So anything under £1,500, I would really think twice about it. It's always best spending a couple of £100 more and then getting a better bike. Now this bike is actually a bike that I did want when it first came out, and it's still a fantastic little bike. I've seen them quite a few times out on the road, and they do actually look like they've been built well. Now the strange thing about this bike is that it actually has an MP3 player on board. I don't know why they decided to do that, but I guess why not? I suppose if you are camping out, it would be very useful to have a little MP3 speaker on your bike, but other than that, I don't know why you would want that. But it's there. It's a gimmick, and it's there. So onto the specifications. So this bike cost £1,800. The top speed you will likely get around about 60 miles per hour unless the wind is right behind you. As for the horsepower, you're going to get a massive 11 horsepower. But for the seat height, it is a little bit higher than the others I've shown you, and that is 805mm of seat height. If you're only going to own this bike for a few years and use it for around town, then it's going to be a fantastic little workhorse. Number 2. Now at number 2 is the Suzuki Terrain 125. Now probably the biggest selling feature of this bike has to be reliability. Now the reason I say that is because a couple of lads did 10,000 miles to Mongolia from the UK and then back again. If that isn't a good advert for reliability, then I don't know what is. And if you are into your adventure type of bikes, then the Suzuki Terrain is definitely the bike for you. Now it is slightly pricey and it comes in around about £2,589, but if you are really concerned about reliability, then it's probably a price worth paying for. As you can see from the specifications, it has a top speed of 60 miles per hour. Brake horsepower, it has 11 horses. As for the seat height, it comes in at 800 millimeters, so it's not as high as I thought it would be, to be honest with you. Now I have already seen a couple of these bikes on the road, and I have to say they do look far bigger than a 125. Number 1. At number 1 is the Lex Motor LXR125. Yes, this is another Lex Motor. Now you have to give credit to Lex Motor, they have really upped their game over the years. And the Lex Motor LXR is definitely that flagship bike. Now yes, it does get a lot of its looks from a certain Ducati motorcycle, but all that being said, for a first time rider, for a rider that is looking to get a bike that looks big, that has big bike features, but doesn't have all that power, then this is definitely the bike. Now if this bike was around when I first started riding, then this would have definitely have been my dream bike. Now onto the specifications. With a price starting at £2,199, it actually isn't that bad at all. So this bike will supposedly do 70 miles per hour. And if I'm honest, I actually think it would do 70 miles per hour. The only problem I can see with this, especially with it being a first time bike, is that it is a sports bike. So you've got that crouched down position, it may get a bit uncomfortable, and it may push you to want to go a little bit faster than you should be going around a corner. That all being said, it is a fantastic bike, and that shows on the specifications as well as just the look of it. It looks absolutely amazing, and for what you are actually paying, you are getting a lot for your money. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what your dream bike is and what you think should have been on this top 5.